Welcome back to my channel. While I'm waiting on some parts, so last episode I took apart some of the radiator components, and I've treated some of these components to a birthday. So transferred pipes looking really good. These are the new radiator hoses, contrasted to the old ones. Not entirely comfortable with this housing, so if you look carefully, it's really badly pitted. I ran a grinder around this to try and even off some of the high spots versus the low spots, but it's incredibly, I suppose, porous from the perspective that if you put a hose on there, it's going to be a high likelihood that it's going to leak. Not to mention that, you know, it's had its day. So I've ordered a new one of these. This one looks much better. So there's still good definition around here, and with few imperfections. I mean, it's got a couple. I might, when I install that, I might be just using a little bit of RTV. Then I've had a good go of cleaning these up. They don't look great. Some of them are round, some of them aren't. See, that one's fairly munted as well. So I've ordered a new set of these clamps too. I wasn't happy with this style being on there, so I've ordered an original set of clamps. They'll be here tomorrow, I think. And I've also ordered new gaskets. That was the one that I broke. So pending arrival of parts, I'm going to do this job. So that's the carburetor overhaul job. Now, I don't have gaskets for this. I am gambling a little bit with that. We'll see what we can do. But the reason for the job is it's backfiring quite badly. It's also, it has a tendency to leak, only intermittently. So it's like the float is sticking or something. And the tank did run completely empty, and without a filter, I'm suspecting that we probably sucked up a bit of gunk there. So fairly straightforward. Having read the manual on how to get this out, haven't done this before. So we've got to get this hot air pipe off. So backing this off, that should allow that to come off. Then it's just removing these. That's the choke. There's some cotter pins there to take out, and then that shaft will come out. Same here, and then it's just those two bolts there, and then back this fuel supply off, making sure that, I'll do it right now, shut the fuel supply. So yeah, that's pretty much the removal of the carburetor. I am going to set you up, and we'll get the job started. Okay, so first things first, I think we're dealing with a 5/8 on here. Nope. Well, it's just as well I grabbed a 9/16 as well. Yeah, that's it. Oh, don't even say it. Don't say it. You all know what the answer is going to be. Okay, that's off. Now, I am going to, while I'm just here, bit of scope creep, but that's okay actually. No, it's not. Okay, I'm going to take that off. I'm not sure that comes off, but that's, there you go. Lovely. What's that say? It says Motor Invention Company, patent pending, La Crossvis. Okay, so note that it's got a hole in the bottom. It's also got a hole in the side. Don't know what that's for. But that's basically it. That's your air cleaner assembly. which doesn't do any air cleaning. I might get this one out. I'm not sure you can see down there. It's definitely a two-handed job. I'm just removing the cotter pin from the choke shaft. Now I need some needle nose pliers. Okay, down here. The lighting situation needs to be improved. Just can't see what I'm doing. Let's try that. It's better. See what I'm doing there? Yep. Yeah. What am I dealing with here? It's like, oh, that leg of, I need to move the light again. Try that. The light was just in the way of what I'm trying to do. Can't see. Whilst I can't see, I also need to be able to get my hands in there. Okay, well, this is pretty crappy. Okay. Sort of see what's going on. I just can't get my hands in. It's really tight. I might get a beefier set of pliers. I really feel like cutting that split pin off. Let's see. Let's go the old fatigue route. Let's see if we can fatigue it to death. There you go. Beauty. When in doubt, just fatigue the crap out of it. I'll put your light bit back in there a bit. Okay, that's a choke off. Have another split pin here, which has been pretty interestingly put in. Oh, that stinks of fuel in here. This is the idle mixture. The shaft goes up into the dash. You can adjust it on the fly. Can't say I've ever done it. It feels like it's. There we go. All right, so we've only got this is a throttle linkage, which passes through the engine block, not through the block itself, through an opening between two sets of cylinders. The philosophy here of getting these split pins on is quite interesting. It's sort of like he's just shoved them through and then put the legs of the cotter pins at whatever angle, jaunty angle, is going to hold it in place. Any sort of rhyme or reason. What it does is there we go, got it out. Good. You just end up with these munted bloody cotter pins instead of applying a little bit of, I don't know, rigor or something. All right, so 1, 2. Let's see if we have a 9/16. I need a socket. It's going to want to turn. Okay. So 9/16 socket and the spanner. And if that doesn't sit there, it's going to sit here. Sorry, you can't see exactly what I'm doing here. It's certainly not a one-handed setup. Okay, there we are. Stinks of fuel. That's all wet from fuel. Yeah, that's definitely something to do with that float level. This is what I've got to get into now. So you'll be able to see down there. The last one here. Let's see if I can set you up there. Nope. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so I can get onto that. So it's just a matter of holding this. That was just a socket playing up. It's been a faithful and loyal set. Probably had it about 20 years. But it's becoming a little worn out. Having progress, definitely progressing real loose. Yeah, and looking from the other side here, there's definitely leakage. A good amount of leakage, actually. Okay, so we're at the tail end here. So all we have to do is get this fuel line or fuel pipe off. I'm looking at this gasket as well from underneath. It does look pretty broken. I wonder if it's sucking air in and ruining the mixture. It's pretty tight, but I think I cracked it. Yeah, dripping is speeding up. Okay, so carburetor's off. These are all the components. That was the mounting system of the hot air intake. This one here. This is our slightly dodgy looking homemade gasket. What we'll do is put that on. Just doesn't look like it's been cut to the right size. Which it definitely hasn't. There's a restriction right there. That's costing me 5 horsepower. I got some munted cotter pins and mounting hardware. So the first step I'm going to do here is just put you down and just get that fuel line off and tap off. It's pretty tight. There we go. That's what we wanted. Okay, there we are. Okay. What I'd like to do is get that out, because I've got a little 3/8. A bit bigger than 3/8. So I'm not sure what I'm looking at here particularly. The general principle though is just to take it all apart. I know they're very simple setup. It's what I would have expected. That will cause a restriction when screwed in. It's a little tiny bit of scoring in the end there. But that needs some lubrication as well. I'm going to go in, take this out, drain plug. What looks like crud in the bottom. Go in here now. I feel like it needs to be in a vise. Crud. And in here we've got what looks like a main jet, which will come out with a screwdriver, flat screwdriver. Of all the things you just don't want too tight. Oh, it makes me laugh. The things you want tight on this car aren't. The things you don't want are. This is fighting. So I'm going to swivel that into a vise. I'll move my vise over here. Handy having a vise that's not bolted down, eh? Okay, we're in the vise. Let's see if we can get a bit more purchase on this. Far out, man. It's not much good, is it? It's really fighting. So I'm putting a spanner onto a screwdriver. Brass on cast iron plus years equals stuck. Yeah, let me think of something else. Okay, so sit rep. I've taken the bowl off, which yeah, doesn't look the best. It's pretty dirty looking, and there's bits of chunks, something. This isn't looking great. I can't get that out. But then when I look, hopefully you can see that. It doesn't look like there's a viable thread most of the way around. So I'm just going to have to leave that be and clean it out. But this is the float arrangement. Take the float bowl off, which is needing to press that out. Okay. This is supposedly a gasket. It's RTV. Okay, doesn't sound like there's fuel in there. Take the needle and seat out. I can't take this. I can take the seat out. I'm just going to look at the needle. It's pretty worn. I'm going to get a gasket and a rebuild kit for this. Run it through the cleaner. This is a Holley carburetor. There's nothing here that's going to perish at this point. Now run it through the cleaner, see how that comes up. Get all this RTV off it. Look at this one. Yeah, not great. All right. Shove that in the cleaner. Okay, so the parts have come out of the cleaner, and I've blown passages through. Actually pretty happy with how it's come out. I certainly couldn't get the main jet out, unfortunately, so that's going to have to stay in there. But all the passages are clear. They've blown through pretty easily. I've started just with a file on this this head here. It was all rounded, so I've just taken to that a little bit, and it's looking good. I managed to get the float, the seat from the needle and seat. That was able to come out. And I actually I learned a little bit more about this arrangement in here. I mentioned that it doesn't have a viable thread in there. It's not actually threaded to the outside. It's more like this arrangement here, where it's got just a shoulder and a threaded part here that goes in. But yeah, for the life of me, I can't get it out. So I'm just going to let sleeping dogs lie. Okay, so I'm going to start with putting the needle and seat in. That seems like a obvious place to start. Get some more light on the subject. Okay, you can see where that's going to go in. It's going to go in here. That's for your ASMR experience. Alright, so we're going to be nicely and in there. Don't like the feel of that, it feels like it's cross-threading. It's better. Okay, so still wanting to screw down. That was going to do it. And so the needle, which looks slightly different to the other one, it is certainly shorter. If you can see that, ever so slightly shorter. And that then goes in there. Okay. Float. There we are. And this is going to need adjustment. And that's one little bit of research I have to do as well, how to set the float. So what I'm looking at here is trying to get you in there. You might need a bit better light. So just trying to get in there, and you can see the tab on that float is touching that needle, which is there he goes, dropped it down. Alright, so when the float comes up, that valve shuts, and that's how that works. So the adjustment is to make sure that when we're at full float, we've got just the right level of fuel in that chamber. Alright, so I'll skip forward and work out how to set this float. I've got a job underway at the moment, so my parts have arrived. I got some miracle paint. I'm going to give the outside of the carburetor a birthday. So yeah, the new housing came in, and just to contrast the two, this is the one that came off, and you can just see how much material it's missing. And obviously that now has a shoulder the hose can bite into, compared with that, which is rotted away. So I've cleaned these parts up. The bowl of the carburetor body. I'm going to do some masking tape over the nameplate there, and to protect that. I don't want black paint on that. So what else have we got to show you? Got all my new, I've got a box of goodies from my mate Henry, and so I've got all the original style hose clamps, and there's 6 of those, and I've got a couple of gaskets for each of the housings. So yeah, I'm not far away from doing the radiator job, putting the radiator back in, but obviously I wanted to paint that before I could do that. So I'm going to paint that together. Drying time's about 5 hours, so I'll come back tomorrow and and play with the radiator. I think I've already shown you the new hoses that I've got here. So we've got the full kit ready to go. Alright, so I'm going to get on and paint this up, and I'll bring you back when it's finished to show you.